Listen, it was ugly. It was ugly. There's no doubt about it. And realistically, we kind of got lucky there late with the TJ Mconnell on Lamb as he drives to the rim and he goes and the ball just twirls around the rim and falls out. We got lucky. We escape in Charlotte and we get the win. I'm not going to sit here and dwell on the ugliness. I'm really not, because Embiid being out is clearly a huge factor with this team. This is a trap game, 100% all around the board. This was set up to be a trap game. We get the victory. That is all that matters to me. And now it's on to Boston. I do not care how ugly this was. I don't care how we had to grind this out literally at the very, very last second and grind this ugly, pathetic win out. I don't care. I don't care. All I care about is the W came into the win column, and that is all. So taking a look at this thing, we win by 4 at the end of the day. Tobias Harris with 0.8 seconds left kind of sealed the deal there, but you know, we were in a dogfight. We were absolutely in a game that was going back and forth. The amount of lead changes over 20, it was consistently moving back and forth. We end up late in this game, Jimmy buckets with a monster 3. James Ennis, of all people, with a monster 3. And we had 0 bench points if it wasn't for James Ennis, who finished the day with 14. Now, he made that monster 3 and then ended up fouling a 3-point play on the other end with just about a minute left in the game, which kind of hurt everything. But what was great about it was the fact that we stood there, we stood our ground, and found a way to get the win. That's all that matters. JJ Redick with an outstanding game. We've seen his slump, hideous slump. He gets out of it. He ends up knocking down 7 threes. Oh, by the way, he grabbed 10 rebounds and 8 assists on top of his 27 points. He was just great. This was arguably his best game of his career, and definitely with the Sixers, he was just a difference maker out there. And everyone talked about this. Well, no Joel Embiid. JJ Redick stinks. He can't find a way because of the dribble handoff. He was knocking him down today. And when that stretch was going on of poor basketball for JJ Redick, my one thing that I consistently kept saying was, it didn't make sense. These looks are wide open. It's not like he's not getting good looks because Joel Embiid wasn't on the floor. He was just missing them. Well, tonight, he was awesome. He was the bell ringer, in my opinion. He's my bell ringer. I'm sure he is in the locker room as well. That's not verified, but I'd be shocked if it wasn't. He was just great and knocking them down, and we need that type of play moving forward here. Jimmy Butler, 23, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. Like I said, he had a late 3 in this game as well. That kind of reminded me of the last time we were in Charlotte with a nice dagger 3 to win the basketball game. It was sort of in the similar spot. And it was like an unorthodox looking shot, too, for Jimmy Butler. Tobias had a weird night. He finished with 21 and 11, but he had some ugly looking air balls. He missed the free throw late, and he's a pretty good free throw shooter. He was just a tad off with his touch tonight. Now, it was a funky lineup all around because Brett Brown elected before the game to discuss the lineup, and he went with Amir Johnson, who started the game. And he did that because he wanted Boban to stay put in his role so he can get used to the minutes that he would be getting as if Joel Embiid was there. And that's totally fine with me. They throw in Amir Johnson over Jonah Bolden. And listen, Jonah Bolden gets 12 minutes of play, 4 personal fouls. I mean, the guy just literally hacks all day long. That's the reason why. For people who want to know, why isn't Jonah Bolden getting minutes? Why isn't Jonah Bolden doing this? Well, here's your answer. The dude just gets in so much foul trouble all the time. 12 minutes and 4 fouls? Mike Scott, too, 15 minutes, 0 points, fouled out of the game. So late, when you got TJ Mconnell in there, you got James Ennis in there, you got all these different things. I mean, that's why I'm going to sit here and say this was just a win where you take it for what it is. It wasn't pretty. It was definitely ugly. You just take it for what it is, and you move on to the next one. That is the Boston Celtics at home, which we all know about. After the game, JJ Redick gets interviewed, talking about, this game and the 10 rebounds, laughed about it, and was kind of stunned, which was definitely funny the way he approached that situation with Serena Winters. But one thing he mentioned is the psychological effect of beating Boston. He thinks that it has to get done. And you hear the news now that there might be some guys out on Boston, so we don't know if they're going to be fully locked and loaded with their full roster, if you will. But in regards to this game, the bench not scoring any points except for James Ennis. We get 7 turnovers total in this basketball game. I've said it. You take a look at the last few games here for the 76ers. We have done a tremendous job of securing the basketball, playing smart, not turning the ball over, just treating it as if it's super special to have that orange ball in their hands, and they are doing just that. Speaking of the turnovers, that, of course, relates to Ben Simmons, who had a great night when it comes to efficiency. 11 of 12 shooting, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He was dunking the ball all day long. The amount of the fake dribble handoffs, they were biting on the fake dribble handoffs. Because, I mean, I get it. We do it so much that it's obvious, it's obvious that it makes sense to fall for it, considering we always do it. But the fake dribble handoff and Ben keeping it and going for a monster slam, that was definitely effective tonight. Ben had a great game. You look at the starters, and it was JJ Redick with the monster game, Ben with very efficient game, Jimmy Butler with the strong performance as well. They were the guys. Now, Kemba Walker got into foul trouble early in this game. He had 3 in the first quarter, so he didn't play much in the first. And when he came back, he was awesome for the Hornets, of course, and he went off for a nice little run. He was explosive. In regards to just free throws in this game, 44-28. So, they got to the line way more than they are averaging, and some calls I thought were iffy and touchy and just a joke. But that's basketball, right? Let's be real. That's basketball. So down below in the comment section, I want to know your thoughts on this basketball game. We obviously know that TJ Mconnell on Lamb late, we all held our breath. Let's be real. When it was rolling around the rim, we held our breath. But I can't sit here and just freak out, get all pissed off because we escaped in Charlotte to get a win without Joel Embiid, when our bench gets 0 points except for James Ennis, when Mike Scott gets into foul trouble, when just things, it is what it is. It's not a legitimate game. It's just not a legitimate game, I guess, if that makes any sense. And I will try and kind of describe what I'm talking about. This was just odd. It was an odd situation to be in, with Mike Scott being fouled out, with our bench not getting any points except for one person, with Joel Embiid out of the game, with the foul trouble. It's just not a situation that we will normally be in. And with the fact that we know what tomorrow is, also plays a huge factor. Halfway through this game, it just had that vibe. It had that mentality that the Sixers were just going through the motions because they knew how tomorrow is. Like, oh, well, this is a let's just get to Boston type game. It had that rhythm to it. And with that being said, with that rhythm, we still get the win. Still get the win. So, hopefully that makes sense to you. I want to know your thoughts on this game, on Ben Simmons, on JJ Redick. What a performance. He definitely flipped the switch for us, let's be real. He's been very, very solid, and tonight, with the day he had, you're talking triple-double watch for JJ Redick. Come on now, that's unbelievable. That's absurd for a player like JJ to grab that many boards, to dish the rock like he did, and to be so effective from the three-point line. You just don't see it. Jimmy was great down the stretch, although a couple times I thought he was settling for jumpers. I wish he was taking guys to the rack more. There was definitely one in particular that I'm thinking of when he was on Frank Kaminsky over by that right side, and he settled for a step back J that he likes to take. But he was good down the stretch. He had that big assist. He made that huge three, and Ben was very effective. We get the win, and let's be real, the eye is on tomorrow. That's bigger than we can all ever imagine, right? Just like JJ said. The psychological effect for this basketball game tomorrow is very crucial to this team. I think tomorrow, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have my coffee, and we're going to talk Boston Celtics. All right, for this video, I wanted to keep it based on this game against the Hornets. I know how big tomorrow is. We're going to wake up. We're going to get a hype video. You know me. I'm not going to be able to sleep probably. And then when I wake up, I'm going to be so jittery. But then I'm going to have to get my coffee. And then I'm going to be extra jittery. And then we're going to get into a huge pump up for the game because it is that crucial and that big for me. And we all know it is for this team and this fan base. Here we go. Here we go. We get a big win tonight, though. Don't overlook that. Even though it wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, it still counts in the win column, and we did it under weird circumstances. Let's just say that. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new. Go Sixers. Go Sixers. Wasn't pretty. It was a win. Thanks for watching.